my lovely lady lumps. Yeah, alright. Publishing your YouTube broadcast. We're getting there. Booty, 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 rocking everywhere. Booty, 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 rocking everywhere. Yeah. Working them buns, hun. 100%. Hello. What's up, y'all? Today we are talking all about the booty. I got a great question this week. What are the best butt exercises? Yeah. Okay. Cool. I'm gonna let my inner Beavis and Butthead just settle down here for a second and actually answer this question for you as a professional personal trainer. We are going to be talking about the best booty exercises. Not only this is the qualifications that a good booty exercise has to have, in my opinion. 1, efficiency, because we don't want to be in the gym all freaking day. Now, there are some booty workouts out there that have you doing like 10, 15 different exercises, little isolation exercises. Now, if you enjoy working out, if working out is not only a means to an end, but also a hobby for you, and you enjoy spending hours at the gym or involved in your workout, that is totally fine. By all means, all of these little isolations, little tiny back kicks, side kicks, up kicks, down kicks, pumping, down in the bottom of the squat, up in the squat, all these things, they're fabulous, okay? But number one thing that I look for when it comes to exercise is efficiency. I want a lot of bang for my buck. I want to definitely feel like, okay, I'm not just exercising for exercise's sake. I am actually going to get some return on my investment, some ROI on my booty exercises, if you know what I mean. Now, glute exercises are great not only for the shape and gorgeousness of your butt, makes them nice and roundy and all that good stuff, but there's other good reasons to do really good booty exercises. There is the fact that they are the largest single muscle in the body, the gluteus maximus, largest single muscle in the body. If you work on hypertrophy on that muscle, deliberately increasing the size and shape of that muscle, what you end up with is extra storage for carbs, increased metabolism, all kinds of good reasons to do it for nutritional, dietary purposes, if you're trying to regulate your metabolism, that kind of thing. But also, the glutes are super important for supporting the low back. If you have low back problems, general chronic low back problems, and you've been cleared for exercise by your doctor, of course, glute exercises are fantastic. You should do them every workout, pretty much. Not a workout goes by at the Nerd Gym where we don't do some highly efficient glute exercises. So, number one, we want the glute exercise to be efficient. We want it to work the big meaty muscles, but also the little stabilizer muscles underneath. And we want it to be simple enough that you can have mastery over the movement, and we want it to be simple enough that you can start adding weight or time under tension to the movement to get the most out of it. So let's talk about my top 2 or 3 or 4, depending on how you look at it. We're going to look at a couple of different variations on glute exercises. Now, the very first one that we're going to talk about is going to be the squat. So squats are absolutely wonderful. The squat is essentially a normal human sitting position if we're just kind of going down into it casually. But if we are actually engaging the muscles, engaging the glutes, then we are set up for success with it. Now, I've got 2 pictures on this first little frame here that if you're watching on Instagram, you cannot see. If you're watching on YouTube right now, you will be able to see this. But essentially what we're looking at here with a squat is we want to make sure that the glutes are engaged. A lot of times, if you are finding that your knees are collapsing inwards, that is a really good indicator that not only are your joints not going to be super happy with you if your knees are collapsing inwards, but you are going to not be engaging the glutes entirely, which is why bands around the thighs, if you've seen people do the exercise with the band around the thighs, while I don't find the band necessary if you are actually in a good position for the squat, it will, in fact, help you get into that position. If you don't know what it feels like to fully engage your glutes, or if your glutes have a tendency to get lazy as you go on in your set, having that band around your thighs will give you a good indicator. The thing that you will notice if you collapse, so let's see, where's my photos here? So the first photos that I showed you, these two people in these photos, they have their knees in a good position. We are not collapsing inwards in either of the first two examples I give you here. In the next two examples, she is absolutely collapsing inwards. Okay, so we've got the knee collapsing inwards slightly around your thighs to help you engage the glutes. Make sure that there is no slack on that band. That's how you can tell if you're not fully engaging the glutes. Those knees should be in line with the toes, pointing the same direction as the toes, but we want to press them slightly outwards as we're squatting. That will ensure that we're getting full booty engagement, which is super important. Full booty engagement. Yes. Okay, so squats. Wonderful, classic exercise. I know some of y'all have knee problems and hip problems that prevent you from doing squats right now. Don't be discouraged. If you need help with that, join the Nerd Gym. I always give you modifications depending on which exercises we're working on, where you don't have to bend the knees so much if you're working with, injuries or, as long as you've been cleared for exercise, we're good. Okay, so these are the things that we want to keep in mind when we're squatting if we want to actively squeeze the glutes. And here's the really important thing is activation, okay? We can't just passively go through the movement. If we want a good booty exercise, doesn't matter how deep your squat is, how heavy your squat is, if you're not engaging those glutes properly, you're going to be offloading the work onto your hips, onto your hip flexors, your quadriceps, your knees, your calves, like everything else is doing the work except for your butt, then you're not really getting the full benefit out of it. So it is possible to do a full depth squat, even with heavy weight, and cheat your glutes out of the work that they are due. So keep that in mind. Same thing with hip raises, which I would say is another really on my top of list, top of mind for best booty exercises. Love a good hip raise. Okay, and this one, great thing about this one, you don't need any equipment. It's body weight, it's laying on the floor. You can do this even if you do have knee problems, hip problems. I have worked with people with a lot of different injuries. Shy of being able to get down and up off the floor easily, there's nothing that is going to contraindicate a hip raise that I know of. But always check with your doctor if you have something funky going on. But hip raises, wonderful. You can even do these in bed before you go to sleep at night. You can go down and up in the hip raise, or you can just stay up at the top of the hip raise and squeeze those glutes for dear life. And again, active squeeze is everything. It is entirely possible to be in the hip bridge or hip raise position with no tension at all, with lazy butt glutes. Nobody wants to be a lazy butt in this position. You're just not going to get as much out of it. Even if you are an advanced lifter, if you are in this position, you can get a lot of benefit from it if you're actually squeezing the glutes. So we want to squeeze the glutes like this grocery meme that says, and again, if you're watching on Instagram, apologies that you can't see this wonderful picture, but you may have seen it already. It's, people say, oh yeah, you can't bring in all those groceries at once. And we have a picture of a guy here who has 2 armloads full of groceries and his butt clenched around another bag of groceries. In other words, he's holding those groceries with his butt cheeks. I want you to think about this guy every time you come up from the bottom of a squat, come up from the bottom of a deadlift, or come up from the bottom of a hip raise. Okay, so we want to squeeze the glutes for dear life. The squeeze is everything. You can go through the motions with an exercise, or you can really improve your body, get those adaptations with active squeeze. And you can do that with or without weights. That's the thing. If you can actually actively squeeze the glutes. Now, for a beginner, it might be really difficult to actively squeeze the glutes. It might be hard to even feel what they're supposed to be doing, which is why things like weight and bands and external resistance are super handy for a beginner. But once you have some self-awareness of how your body's working and moving, you should be able to activate those glutes at any time, which means you can stand in line at the grocery store with your butt cheeks pinched, and you can do different things like, hold, squeeze those glutes. There have even been studies that show that holding and squeezing the glutes just in the standing position will improve your strength. You do that for 60 seconds each day, a good butt squeeze, and you will be on your way to having a nice, juicy, strong bootay. Heck yeah. All right. Let's see. Now, hip raise and hip thruster variations. Okay, this is worth talking about a little bit here. So hip raises, basic hip raises are wonderful. Adding weight to a basic hip raise is not going to do a whole lot, frankly. If you are just adding something like a kettlebell or a dumbbell or a weight plate to a basic hip raise, you're kind of wasting your time, in my opinion. You can get some additional benefit if it helps you to remember to squeeze like crazy. But yeah, squeezing like crazy, that's the main thing. Hello, Freelance Arts. Hello. Let's see. Who's in the chat on here? Okay. Hi everybody. All right. So yes, adding a kettlebell or weight plate to a basic hip raise, not going to do a whole lot. I would sooner have you do a one leg hip raise. If you're having difficulty finding those glutes on your hip raise, go to a one leg hip raise, lifting one off the floor, and that will really force some extra stabilization out of you. Now, if you do want to do a weighted hip raise, then if we're really looking at doing it right, we're talking about a full-on hip thrust. This is the one where your upper back is on a bench, and you have a barbell across your lap with a pad on it, barbell across the lap, and we are raising the hips from there. So here's the thing. The glutes are a tremendous muscle in the body. You are not going to get a huge difference if you're just adding 15, 20, 45. Even for somebody who's just beginning, I wouldn't do less than 50 pounds added to the hip raise or the hip thrust if you are just starting out. If you're just starting out and we have a lot of weakness going on, that's totally fine. Just do body weight. Once you have those adaptations started, I would skip the tiny weights on the hips and go right into a barbell if you have a barbell available. And if you don't, that's okay. You can get a lot of benefit out of your basic hip raise. Yeah. So again, hip raises, hip thrusts, squats. Those are my top picks. I would definitely also throw in like honorable mentions. Stiff leg deadlifts, wonderful. You come up from that stiff leg deadlift, squeeze the glutes like you mean it. That's fabulous. The reason I don't have it on this list is because if somebody's watching this and you're not a member of the Nerd Gym or you don't have a coach helping you with like proper back form, neutral spine, all that stuff, the stiff leg deadlift can be confusing. That is one of the ones that I see the most error in as far as people rounding their back and not actively seeking out the stretch in their hamstrings and actively seeking out the squeeze in their glutes. If you're doing a stiff leg deadlift, hinging at the hips, bowing forward with the weight, it is very tempting oftentimes for people to get that weight to the floor because they feel like that is the end goal. And it is on a standard deadlift, but a stiff leg deadlift, you do want to really focus more on the stretch and the squeeze. And for some people with tight hamstrings, that means not making it to the floor. And you don't have that external kind of feedback. So if you're going to do stiff leg deadlifts and you are a total beginner, please do go ahead and join the Nerd Gym or seek out a coach to help you with your back position on that. I don't want anybody to mess up their backs. So that is why stiff leg deadlifts didn't make the list. Stiff leg deadlifts, wonderful for the glutes if you know what you're doing with it, okay? So that's an honorable mention. Things like back kicks And side leg raises, like you think Jane Fonda, the Fonda legs kind of stuff, where you're doing like little isolation exercises. Those are also wonderful, and especially for people who have hip and knee problems that might prevent them from doing those big multi-joint movements. But the reason those didn't make my top list is because those are going to be more time consuming. You have to do more reps. You have to do all of the angles. It's not going to give you as much bang for your buck. So those would be my honorable mentions: stiff leg deadlifts, and your isolation exercise, back kicks, donkey kicks, side kicks, all the kicks, all those things. But yes, my top ones would definitely be squats, and that can be any stance of squat, although the wider stance, at least shoulder width, or sumo stance, wide but stable, are extra great for the glutes. And then hip raise or weighted hip thrusters, again, top booty exercises. If you have questions, please go ahead and hop in the comments. Let me know. If you're watching on YouTube, please like, subscribe. I appreciate you. If you want some actual coaching with me, yours truly, online via Zoom, in small group classes, go ahead and join the Nerd Gym, www.thenerdgym.com. We have live classes Monday through Saturday, early morning, evening, middle of the day, all over the stinking place. And those are private classes for Nerd Gym members only. So be sure to like and subscribe on YouTube. Join the Nerd Gym if you're not already a member. Go to www.thenerdgym.com. You can join at any membership level and get full access to all the things. And you can support the community that way too. We're on a sliding scale, so it just redirects you to our Patreon. You can pick the membership level that's right for you, and you'll get access to all of the classes, all of the meal plans, all of the things, all of the coaching. Yes, because together we can do this. We can have, we can pull 2020 out of the depths of despair and get a gorgeous booty and have fun in a supportive community as we do it. Yes. Let's do it together. I will see you on the next one. I'm going to be continuing to go live every day at 2 p.m. My time. I'm in Tucson, Arizona, Mountain Standard Time. Okay? Every day at 2 p.m., 4 p.m. Eastern right now. Tucson's weird. We don't do daylight savings time, so that might change. But yes, so if you have any questions, let me know and I will answer them in an upcoming live on one of these platforms that I am streaming to currently. Okay, see you later. Bye. Have an awesome day.